Hey everybody, this is Joe with Joe's Premium Firewood. We're here another fun-filled, exciting video. Today's video, I'm over at Gary's and I'm going to be loading up some of this split wood up here and throwing it towards the front of my truck. And then I've got these pieces that need to be split in half, what I call one poppers, one hit with a splitter. And I'll put those towards the back, delivering it to a customer. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to talk about what I call the incident, the double homicide that occurred. And unfortunately, Gary was one of the victims. I think I'll start by giving you a little background. Like I said, I'm at Gary's house. John's house is the next house over, about maybe 400, 500 yards away, and then another 300 yards past that is our house on the other side of the street. Back in 2014 was the first time I met John, even though I've lived out here since 2009. I was at the local store, and he's seen my coat with the firewood for sale, and of course he recognized my sign. He said he wanted to buy some wood for our neighbor Hank and Sid that live that way, just about a mile away. And so I ended up taking them wood for next year. The next year, John had been cutting them wood, but he was getting too old. He was like in his late 50s, and he wanted to get out of it. So I went up there and made a deal with Hank to cut on shares. They had 70 acres and just tons of dead stuff, beautiful locusts. And so that's how he got me hooked up with them. And then John also has 40 acres over there. And in 2015, I went over there and started cutting on his property too, because there was like a trail through the woods that would lead up to Hank and Sid's property. In 2016, Hank and Sid split up. Hank lost his mind, and he had to be sent to a nursing home or something, somewhere to take care of him. And they sold their property to loggers. The loggers got like 1,400 trees. That's what this stuff is. So the logger got a hold of Gary, and Gary paid him, I think, $10 a top. So he paid, I think he paid him like $200 for like 20 tops. And that's like all the logs that are sitting around here. So that's how Gary got the wood. Then I don't know, it was probably 2017, the logger sold the property to a guy named Josh, and that's where we're out cutting right now. So everything was cool, I go over to John's house all the time. Well, not all the time, but go and drink whiskey with him. Bet you Pam would like some whiskey right about now. So he was real cool. His wife Lynn, she was cool. Everything was cool. And about back in the wintertime, John fell down on the ice and broke his arm. And then he got on, he was out of work, and then like a month later he fell down the stairs and broke his neck. So I don't know what kind of pain meds he was on, but I'm gonna get up to the day of the incident. But I think that's part, people are gonna ask me why, and that's what I'm trying. Nobody can figure that out. But as far as the day of the incident, it was June 22nd, and that morning Mike and I went and cut some ash. We made a video that day on my stolen channel. Everything was normal. Came back here, unloaded it, and then Mike went to go cut locust, and I went, I think I had a delivery I went out to lunch. When I left here, I pulled out of the driveway. The neighbor's on the same side of the road as us. I seen a tree guy out there, and he was looking, looking at the neighbor's trees, they're right by the power lines there. I didn't think much of it. Well, when I come home from lunch, about 4 o'clock that day, the police had the road blocked off, and he said he couldn't say why. And I was thinking maybe something bad happened to the house or something, My brother sometimes dabbles with crystal meth, so I was thinking the worst. I didn't know what was going on. He wouldn't say if it was a car accident or anything. And I went around to the next road, and they had that blocked off, and then I went down to the other road, to the other side of our road, and they had it blocked off down there. Well, when I went there, I seen Mike was there, and there was about 3 or 4 other cars pulled over talking to the state police that had the road blocked off. And I get out and I go, Mike, what the hell's going on? Well, I guess apparently, John lost his mind for whatever reason. Nobody knows, but he murdered the tree guy right in the road. Right at the corner across the street from his house. And I guess when Mike was bringing me a load of locusts, he was taking it to Adam, he seen the kid's body in the road. He thought he fell out of a tree. So Mike stopped, Mike's a good guy, stopped to check on him. Well, he didn't see John in John's yard sitting there. And John comes right up to him, puts a gun right into Mike's face and says, "You get out of here or I'm going to kill you too." And apparently he did that to about 4 or 5 other people that stopped by, people with kids in their car and everything. So I couldn't get home that day, and that kind of shook up Mike, and plus the other people that had the gun pulled on them. A pink 9mm, apparently his wife's gun. Well, I ended up going to the casino and dropping $300 because I couldn't get home. They wouldn't let me through. Didn't have anything else to do. Had some money. So I come home about 11 o'clock at night. I tried taking the back way, or they had it blocked off down there. So I come around this side, and they had it blocked off too. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And I had to basically beg the firemen to let me through. And finally they let me through. Well, when I went through, there was about 10 cop cars sitting in Gary's driveway. And I'm like, oh my God. And then they said, yeah, he killed 2 people that day. The tree guy, the kid, he's 21 years old, just doing his job, and gets killed, for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Well, come to find out later, John got into it with his wife, and he tried to strangle her, and he pistol whipped her. She was able to get out of the house, and that's what set him up, probably really set him off, And when Lynn was at the police station filing a report, she heard the 911 calls coming over the radio, and she knew what happened. She knew he just flipped out. Like I say, nobody knows. Now, I do talk to Lynn. I got her cell phone number, because I let her know when we're going to cut on their property, because I've got probably 50 cords of wood off their property alone that they let me have. So I just asked her, man, I want to come over and talk to you and just try to figure out what the heck happened, why, everybody's saying why, and this is like a month later, and I guess John doesn't even remember it, I think he's like 63 years old. Gary is 73 when it happened. Nicest guy, and he, Gary made that table that's on the splitter there, right here in his shop. And so like I say, he was the nicest guy ever. he wouldn't hurt a soul. And now he had guns. We don't. What's not clear to us if he killed Gary first and then the kid. I think it's probably started with the kid. I don't know. You know, that'll come out in the trial. But yeah, John had a great job. He's worked at this place, making good money at a factory. He was about ready to retire. Now he gets to spend the rest of his life in prison. You know, and I mean, and I like John, but you just can't go around doing that stuff. You know, just crazy. Just, you really shook up the community out here. And so yeah, you know, I feel bad for the kid, the family. You know, I feel bad for Sarah. I do believe that Gary would want me to be the one to handle all this firewood. Like I say, he's less than half a mile away. This house, less than half a mile from our house, and so I just been coming over here every time I get an order, because Mike hasn't been cutting much. Maybe he's worked 10 days in the last, I don't know, 6 weeks. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably want to see a Jamie video. You know, she's only going to be part-time, maybe 1 day a week. You know, remember Ashton Sunday? Well, she'll probably be like the same type of deal. Got to find work for her. But anyway, yeah, that's how it went. You know, I know my niece was shook up about the whole deal because she had to have a police escort to get her to the house. That was about 6 o'clock. Happened sometime around 3 p.m. You know, Friday, June 22nd. No, Mike ain't ever gonna forget that day. So, yeah, it wasn't a good deal, but you know, at least this wood isn't gonna sit out here and rot. He doesn't even have a spot to burn it. Gary was planning on putting a barrel burner in his barn there, but I don't think the insurance company approved it. So all this wood out here sitting gonna rot. Even though some people say, oh, it's already rotten. This is fine. This is what happens with, you know. So this stuff, you know, the loggers cut all the trees down, 1,400 trees, back in it was early 2000 or late 2016 into 2017, and then I think he started. There goes a mouse. I think he started cutting it, you know, in 2017, 2018. This stuff's been out here, so it's good and dry. Like I say, the trees have been cut for 2.5 years. So I got about just as much of this stuff in as I want, but that's basically the gist of the story. Maybe I'm forgetting a few details, but yeah, I don't know when the trial is, but I don't know if he can plead insanity. My theory on it is that the fentanyl and the pain meds, and then he was a drinker. You know, he drank a lot of whiskey, a couple half gallons a week, and I think between that and the pain meds for his neck, you know, breaking his neck and his arm, fried his brain. That's my only explanation for it. But see how much I got in there. Yeah. We'll check out this. Like I say, thanks for watching. I know I got a bunch of new subs thanks to Jamie. Let's see. But yeah, Gary did real good work. He also came over with his tractor and cleaned up some debris. So you can see how solid this is. You got it, you know, it's hard to see in there, but it's bolted on, but it's a major pain in the butt to take off, but it'll last longer than the splitter does. I did pay him $200 to make that, which is kind of high, but I kind of owed him a favor. Gary's, you know, like I say, my truck I was driving and the gas straps were really rusted, and I was driving home one day and one of them had already fell off, and then the second one broke. So my gas tank was dragging on the road, you know, and it's plastic, So I was actually driving through people's yards, like 5 miles an hour. I made it to his house. He was out mowing his lawn, stopped mowing his lawn. He came and got a jack. He had a chain, like a ratchet chain, and he had the gas tank chained to the frame within 15 minutes. And he's like, go ahead, and just did it. And I'm like, well, I owe you a favor. So when I paid him $200 for this, which, you know, it's probably should only been like 100, I called it even, you know. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of bonus footage, split some of this up, and call it a wrap, because I told the guy I'd be there at noon. It's already 11:30, and it's about a half-hour drive. I'm getting $155 for it. Prices go up October 1st. I've already used this already to split some ash that Mike brought me, so should start on the first pull. Go. That stuff's good and dry. Like I said, these are just one poppers, one split and I'm done. So big. I guess I could fit in this barrel. Easy splitting stuff. Gravy train. This is where I put the scrap junks for our wood, our stove. She said I could have them, but we're gonna get her loaded. I think that about wraps it up for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. You got any questions about the double homicide? I'll try to answer them in the comments. So we'll see you guys at the next one.